The 2024 NBA Draft is coming up on Wednesday and Thursday, so the action gets underway tomorrow night. It's the first time that the NBA is experimenting with a two-day draft. So coming up on today's 76ers Now, a final draft targets video just to look at some players who Philadelphia could select on Wednesday and Thursday in the first and second rounds. First, help us out. We're closing in on a pretty big milestone here on 76ers Now of 16,000 subscribers. We're so close to that number. If you want 76ers draft coverage, 76ers free agency coverage, with free agency getting underway on Sunday, year-round talk of the Sixers, hit that sub button right now for informative, entertaining, insightful, thought-provoking content that involves you. And make sure you join us for our coverage of the draft. We are going to be going live Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific, an hour before the draft gets underway. What will this man here to my right and Daryl Morey do? Stay tuned to find out. 76ers needs going into the draft and free agency. You look at shooting. I think that Philadelphia could get a little bit more athletic. I'm always an advocate for having players on my roster who have positional versatility. Playmaking can be a part of that too. So with that, we flip the page to our top 76ers draft targets. We're obviously going to start off in the first round here. And I want to begin with the player who we've talked about a couple of times here on the show. It's Tristan Da Silva out of Colorado. He's 23 years old, 6'8 and a quarter, 217 pounds. So he's a little bit thin for that size, but he's a wing. He could play the four, and he can shoot the lights out. With Tristan Da Silva, I think the Sixers need an impactful win-now player. Da Silva is perfect to fill that need. He played a lot at Colorado, and I think his game is seasoned enough at this time where he could get 10 to 15 minutes any given night on an NBA roster, all-around player who could contribute right from the jump. He's a playmaking hub at times and was that at Colorado with his ability to really space the floor. He could play alongside Joel Embiid. He could be a catch-and-shoot guy with Tyrese Maxey. Does lack some explosiveness, but has a good release as far as the three-point shot, and he's tall with some length. Last year for the Buffaloes, 16 points per game, 5 boards. Not a bad defensive player who will get his arms and hands in the way of passing lanes, more than a steal per night, 49% from the floor and 40% from three for a guy with that size. It's just screams modern-day NBA. Draft target number 2, Rob Dillingham, guard out of Kentucky for a Kentucky team that got bounced in the NCAA tournament by Oakland by way of the state of Michigan. But it's not to say that team wasn't loaded. It was. John Calipari's squad just once again failed to reach expectations, and they got bounced early. Dillingham, good player, 6'1", 164 pounds. This is a guy and a prospect who is electric. He is an explosive bucket getter. Not going to give you a lot as far as defense, but we talk about a trade for Jordan Clarkson. Why not draft a player like Dillingham, who has shades of a prime Lou Williams, who can come in off the bench, just like Jaden Hardy was able to do at times for the Dallas Mavericks, and take a lot of shots in a short amount of time, and some nights he's going to be hot. Some nights it's going to be cold. But you need that offensive punch coming in off the pine. He did not participate in the combine because of an ankle injury. Could be a reason why he falls down some draft boards, depending on how evaluators look at him. Might be the best ball handler in this draft class. A great three-point shot. He can shoot off the catch, but he can really create looks off the bounce. The concern, small frame. I think it causes problems for him on the defensive end against NBA talent, but that's why he's that bucket getter to come in as a reserve. 23 minutes per game last year for Kentucky, and the shooting numbers really check out. 15 points per game, little less than 4 assists, a steal per game, 47.5% from the floor, 44% from three. A lot of people who watch Kentucky are like, Reed Shepherd, he's the offensive flamethrower who's unconscious from long range. Rob Dillingham, he was more than 44% from three as well. Don't sleep on the kid. Draft target number 3, and I have cracked up at some of the comments I've seen pertaining to Jared McCain, and it ranges from, we don't need this fingernail polish bull in Philadelphia to can't wait to hear sports talk radio debates about Jared McCain because he does paint his fingernails and he doesn't fit in Philadelphia. Look, I think it's a little bit odd. You can do whatever you want to do, but what I'm focused on is the player here. And Jared McCain is a good player, and he fulfills a need on this Sixers team. A guard like Dillingham who's going to help you offensively. And I would say that McCain, 203 pounds, a good frame at 6'2", will be able to help you a little bit more on the defensive end as compared to Dillingham. And he just is very comfortable with playing off ball. In fact, I think that's his primary role at the next level. An older freshman at 20 years old, but this is a prospect who possesses shot making and playmaking. And that's the type of combination that the Sixers need. That's the type of combination I thought at times this team missed last year. Now, I'm for bringing back a campaign, a Kyle Lowry, but they're not going to get you buckets in the way that McCain can. Great off-ball mover with a quick and repeatable jump shot, good strength, quickness combo that enables him to play physically on the defensive side. So I kind of side with him over Dillingham for those reasons. Tweener athletic profile for the guard spot, but that's fine if you're playing off-ball. He is shorter for playing off-ball, so I'm not sure he's going to be the starting guard alongside Tyrese Maxey because that gives you issues defensively. But 14 points per game, 5 rebounds, a surprisingly good rebounder for his size, 46% from the hardwood, and then 41% from three-point range. Next up, it was the final season for the G League Ignite. Ron Holland, going to be one of the final prospects taken from this team in the draft. So let's do a little deep dive on Ron Holland here. It's from Dallas, Texas, under 19 years old. He is not as seasoned or experienced as some of these other players, but he did play professionally last year, whereas these college players did not. I tend to think that the G League level, as far as fundamentals and even competition goes, it's hard to watch. Whereas I like watching college basketball. Ron Holland, a lot of size, 6'6.5", 197 pounds. So he's a little bit thinner for that height. Entering the year, he was in consideration for being the top player chosen in this draft. Now, keep in mind, this is a draft where you could get players at 16 who could be the best player in this draft. That's great news for Philadelphia if they hold on to this pick. You could get players at number 30 who end up being a top 5 player in this class because there's not a huge gap between who might go number 1 and who goes in the middle of the first round. There just isn't that, and there isn't that Victor Wembanyama, LeBron James generational type of player in this draft, and a lot of teams are going to be taking chances on players in the lottery. In turn, that could help Philadelphia out. That's why I want to see them hold on to this pick. Now, for this particular prospect, he did struggle in a poor environment. It's part of the issue at the G League level, but the potential is immense, and I think that's a good word to use. With the size, with the ability, with the pedigree, with the game. He's very explosive. He can finish in a variety of ways. He has good anticipation. He can jump passing lanes with ease and create fast break opportunities for himself. Anytime you can generate defense to turn to offense, that's good. The issue, my goodness, was the jump shot bad. And this is why I had to like to go to college, because I think that you can work with some really good coaches to improve that jump shot. 20.5 points per game, great. 6.5 rebounds per game, awesome. 2.5 steals per game, that's elite. 44% shooting and 24% from beyond the arc, that's not good. Kel'el Ware, center, Indiana, if you want to go big. So we're going forward, guard, forward, and then back to the center spot with Kel'el Ware out of Indiana. Younger player again, 6'11", 3/4. He has an unbelievable wingspan, has a lot of length. He can occupy a lot of real estate. Think Derek Lively, lob threat. I think Derek Lively was one of the best rookies in the 2023 class. He was exceptional. And the Mavericks got him at the back end of the lottery. And in the playoffs, he was a great player. And Ware is a player who's a rim protector. He's developing a three-point shot like Lively. who hails from the Philadelphia area, by the way. Shout out to West Town. And I like how Lively fits in today's modern NBA, and I think Ware can be that type of guy. Terrific versatility for his size, along with great feel on the defensive end. He can switch without a problem. Good athlete who can climb the ladder for rebounds. Going to be a lob threat early in his career. I thought Lively added a different dimension to that Mavs offense because of that reason. He did struggle against top competition in college, but this is a player with ability here. And you're looking for a backup center. Could he be that behind Joel Embiid? 16 points per game, 10 rebounds, an assist and a half, nearly 2 blocks, almost 59% from the floor. Let's bring on Big Dip Chip with the 16th pick. The Philadelphia 76ers in the 2024 NBA Draft selects.
I think it's going to be Tristan Da Silva.
All right.
If I didn't put my money on it, that's where I bet the Sixers go, assuming they keep the pick. Now, interesting to note, they had the least amount of pre-draft workouts, at least that were reported publicly out of any team. Some speculate that's because they're going to trade the pick, but look, I'd love for them to keep this pick. They've been linked to Tristan Da Silva a lot throughout this NBA draft process. A lot of mocks have been going to Silva. He's right in their range. He's the win-now kind of player you need. So if you don't trade the pick and you want a more established guy, there you go. There's Da Silva right there. If he goes, I don't think the Sixers pass on him, no matter what. If he's there, they take him. If he goes before Philadelphia picks, maybe to Miami, which would, by the way, just be heartbreaking to see him go to Miami right in front of us. You know, Dillingham's a player who was going to go in the top 10, had top 10 buzz, and still could. This draft is so unpredictable. You know, we don't even know who's going number 1, much less who's going to go number 16, right? Yeah. Players are all over the board right now. Rob Dillingham was up in the top 10, had the injury. People are mocking him down in the 20s now. Ron Holland has been all over the place because he has great athletic upside, a lot of potential, already a great defender right away, but raw offensively.
Yeah.
You know, Jared McCain would probably be the Sixers pick, I think, if Da Silva wasn't there. A little bit of everything. Seems ready for the moment right now. And then if they wanted to go big, I think Kel'el Ware is the way to go. But it's going to be a very exciting and interesting draft. Again, we don't know what's going to happen. All the way from 1 down to the last pick of the draft. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be interesting. Do we keep the pick? Do they trade the pick? Sixers, though, whatever they do, you got to get good value out of this pick. Whether you trade it, whether you keep it, you got to get someone that can help this team this season. Daryl Morey, got to go get it done.
Daryl, get it done. Coming up next here on Philadelphia 76ers Now. We're not done. We're only getting started. Round 2 targets. Where else are you going to find this information and this coverage? Nowhere else. That's why you subscribe. And let us know in the comment section, who will the 76ers draft with the 16th overall pick if they hold on to that selection? Speaking of the draft, 76ers draft hats on sale right now at chatsports.com/76ers draft hats. Color scheme, logo, repping the Sixers. They might break our hearts. We might have a love-hate relationship with Philadelphia, but we still love them. Link is down below in the comment section and in the description. All right, round 2 targets. Trenton Flowers, a forward out of the NBL in Australia. G'day, mate. Trenton Flowers, superb athlete, quick first step, really good bounce, no offensive game right now, can't create off the dribble, jump shot still needs work, has a lot of upside if given time to develop. He screams Delaware Bluecoats. Jalen Bridges, forward out of Baylor, not as raw as Trenton Flowers, but another player who could make sense for Philadelphia here, a forward who helps out some of your front court depth, really good offensive player that can fit any scheme and defend multiple positions. He cuts well, has length to finish around the rim, limited creator. It's part of the reason why he's sliding to the second round here. That will always have to play in the flow of an offense. Kevin McCullough Jr., a very well-known guard who attended and played his college ball at Kansas. He was the star player for the Jayhawks, who was injured when it came time for the NCAA tournament. Smart player who rebounds well. He could push the ball, make plays out in the open. He improved his three-point shot drastically and has a form that should translate. Older prospect, so there is limited room for growth there. PJ Hall, forward out of Clemson. I think producer Chip put him on the list just because he played at Clemson. No, I'm messing with you. But for real, in the NCAA tournament, as Clemson made that run to the Final Four, Elite Eight, for the first time since long time. First time in a long time. PJ Hall was a part of that. And this is a guy who had no fear. He moved bodies. He's gritty, willing to get it out of the mud. Another older prospect, but polished offensive big with strong footwork, sneaky athlete. Three-point numbers aren't great, but I will work with the form. He has that touch and form to improve that shot. Not a good defender, and he's probably too small for the 5, so you put him at that 4 spot and hope that he can develop the outside shot. And then lastly, the big mystery of the draft. Where's Bronny James going to go? Will a team select Bronny in the first round just to get LeBron? Will they draft him in the second round just to get LeBron? I'm not sure that Bronny James is a draft-eligible player. I would have liked to have seen him go back, play another year in college basketball. He had hit the transfer portal. I thought that was a good move for him. USC's coach, Andy Enfield, hit the market, and he ended up going to SMU. Bronny James, there was some chatter. Is he going to go to Nova? Is he going to go to DePaul? Will he go to Nova to learn LeBron, to the 76ers? When I hear poor man's Davion Mitchell, when he's small, doesn't really have a defined game offensively or defensively, that concerns me at the next level. I could be wrong. I'm just not sure what Bronny James is going to be able to do at the NBA level. I thought he needed another year of refinement. Be sure to watch our NBA draft coverage here on 76ers Now. If you want some regular NBA draft coverage from a couple of our NBA draft analysts, you can go over to our Chat Sports YouTube channel live on Wednesday and Thursday. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow night.